happy, you know.
Well, we hope that he was in his final days. Joe Pesci, an actor, a friend of Michael Jackson's, and remembering the life which ended today after 50 years. Joe, thanks very much.
Thank you.
You can see the crowd.
Well, that was Fox News talking to Joe Pesci. Unfortunately, we just came in at the end of that interview. Well, our US correspondent Robert Nisbet joins me now. Robert, words from Joe Pesci. We've got Hollywood stars giving their reaction. Here on Sky News, we spoke to Uri Geller, a very close friend of Michael Jackson, who had literally just heard the news. He was devastated, extremely shocked, so much so he couldn't actually speak to us. This is going to have reverberations throughout Hollywood and the world of the rich and famous.
That's right, and I think Paul Gambaccini touched on it there when he was talking about this, the level of emotion that surrounds Michael Jackson, whether it be their reaction to the media covering Michael Jackson or indeed, you know, his close friends and his acolytes. There is a level of attachment between fans to Michael Jackson that I really haven't witnessed with any other celebrity. And again, Gambaccini was talking there about his popularity, not just in the United States and in Europe. I mean, he really was a truly global star, even when his career slumped in Western Europe and in the US in the last few years or so. He remained a giant star in Asia and frequently made public appearances there. So this will have truly kind of international reverberations, and I would expect certainly within the next few hours we're likely to get a remark from the President of the United States, and I would suggest that other world leaders will probably be pushed to comment as well. And there aren't many entertainers when you will see heads of government instantly putting pen to paper or mouth to microphone and saying how much this man will be missed. And I think it's important to stress again that this wasn't just a musical icon, he was a cultural icon. What he introduced in terms of what he wore, remember the moonwalk dance, which he did for the first time, I think in 1985, and he did again at his arraignment for the last child sex abuse hearing in 2005, which he did on the roof of a car. That was his signature move that affected and impacted around the world how people could have viewed entertaining. His concerts were these Son et Lumière extravaganzas, especially those that he did after Thriller and Bad. They became kind of event concerts, pulling in all new technology and lasers, etc. So this was a man who wasn't just a musical giant, but also a cultural one whose impact really cannot be overstated. And also he was, in effect, one of the first big tabloid celebrities. Every detail of his life was picked over. Allegations in the National Enquirer sold millions of extra copies. The News of the World as well did very well out of covering this man. Some of these stories were true, many weren't, but this was part of his appeal, that there was this pantomime side to him, this performer, and people were trying to get behind the surface to find out what made this man tick, and the highs and lows made him more attractive to the media rather than less. But such was the impression that his albums made that his musical legacy will never be overshadowed. Thriller still remains arguably one of the greatest albums ever recorded, and despite all of the madness, all of the trials, all of the cases, all of the medical ups and downs, that will still be seen as his signature achievement.
Yeah, Robert, we've just had reaction in on the TMZ website from Quincy Jones, who produced that legendary Thriller album you were just mentioning there. In his statement, he said, "I'm absolutely devastated at this tragic and unexpected news. For Michael to be taken away from us so suddenly at such a young age, I just don't have the words." He goes on, "Divinity brought our souls together on The Wiz and allowed us to do what we were able to throughout the 80s. To this day, the music we created together on Off the Wall, Thriller and Bad is played in every corner of the world. And the reason for that is because he had it all: talent, grace, professionalism and dedication. He was the consummate entertainer, and his contributions and legacy will be felt upon the world forever."